Hey, thanks for joining me today. My name is Joe Tortola, and I'm here today to talk to you about Flight Control Plus and how it can help enhance your sales at John Deere Landscapes. But before I get started, I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm currently a goose consultant working in the green industry, and was currently a True Green employee where I sold thousands of acres worth of Flight Control Plus applications over about a 10-year time frame. I worked in the Cleveland and Akron, Canton markets, respectively. Want to go through this presentation we prepared just for John Deere. Going to have everybody an opportunity to ask questions during the slideshow. So give you that opportunity. Feel free to ask questions. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, stop drop, Flight Control Plus. What is Flight Control Plus? Flight Control Plus is an advanced repellent technology. Archeon worked with the USDA Wildlife Service to look for an application that's going to be both long-lasting and waterproof, something that would work well with humans and water and wildlife without harming the vegetation or water. Basically, we wanted to effectively modify the goose's behavior and habitat. Flight control works in two ways. The first way is an anti-feeding warning. Basically, the geese feed on the treated turf, they get a strong gut reaction. The second way it works is a visual warning. The product absorbs UV light. The geese can see in the ultraviolet light spectrum. They associate that with the upset stomach they just got from feeding on the turf. That's how it deters them. It doesn't make them sick. It doesn't harm them in a permanent fashion. Just tells them it's not a good place to eat. Similar to if you and I go to a restaurant, you get a bad meal, you tend not to go back to that place to eat. Behavior modification through learned response. Once the goose samples the treated areas, it experiences the digestive irritation. The goose learns very quickly to stop feeding in the area. So when they don't feed, they don't create the droppings. Without the ability to feed, the geese will be forced to find an alternative area to feed. In this illustration, you can see the red line going down the center here. The goose is obviously in an untreated area. This area was treated on the right. This picture was shot up in the Sandusky area. You can tell the goose definitely doesn't want to go into that area. It's as simple as that, and that's exactly how it works. They see it, they eat it, they get the upset stomach, they will not go back to feed on it. Flight control delivers a very strong consequence. Okay, any questions on how flight control works? All right, moving on. You know, who's going to use Flight Control Plus? Who's coming into the stores, the John Deere Landscape stores, to buy it? It's going to be anywhere from the True Greens down to the small mom and pop landscape companies. Most companies are going to take care of a piece of property that have turf that's affected by geese. There's a conflict with geese. It's by water. Athletic turf, parks and recreation departments, municipalities, our number one user of the material is athletic turf, and also school systems, athletic municipalities, etc. Waterfront properties, golf courses, marinas, universities and school systems. And we do have it available in a 2.5, 1 gallon, and also soon a quart-sized product for sale in the stores. Some of the suggestive selling strategies when folks come in and inquire about the product. A typical program is 5 to 6 applications, similar to a 5 or 6 lawn care application program. They want to set a minimum stop charge for small areas. Small areas sometimes grow into large opportunities. Also have them be prepared to price out per acre for larger sites. They want to avoid partial or one-time applications where they just will not get the desired results. Flight Control Plus is a high revenue, high profit type service, and it's a highly effective way to control geese and improve efficiencies on properties. Any questions? Okay. Where do you make the application? And this is a question that comes up pretty often. Basically, you're going to want to treat the drop zone. What the drop zone is the area where the geese are actively feeding. It's well marked by the drop zone, or large heavy piles or concentrations of droppings. In this illustration, you have water feature surrounded by turf. You're going to want to treat the area that has the largest concentration of droppings. When you see it, you'll know it. Can't miss the droppings on the ground. That's where you need to treat. Some of the treatment strategies that we work with some of the major lawn care companies, some of our certified applicators throughout the country. You're going to, in the early spring, right now, the March timeframe we're going into, you're going to treat every 1 to 2 weeks when the grass starts to grow at a ½ gallon to 3/4 gallon per rate. You're going to run that all the way till late May, early August. You're going to do the applications a little less frequently, the same rate, but not quite as often. And the final applications in the fall, you're going to go with a full 1 gallon rate per acre in the October-November timeframe. Now, one thing to remember about Flight Control Plus, it's water insoluble, so it's not going to wash off. These applications, if applied to dry turf, is going to stay on there for a substantial amount of time. The only thing that's really going to take it off is geese feeding or the mower blade. When you apply Flight Control Plus, here's a good illustration. You want a very fine droplet. This is a backpack sprayer on the left. You can see the very coarse droplet. Not a good application technique. You want a very fine droplet, such as on the illustration here on the right. Think of it as painting the lawn or painting the drop zone. You want to treat every square inch of that area, get a good even coat of application with a very fine droplet. Remember, the geese can see it, so the applicator misses an area, geese will be able to see it and they'll feed on that area. And I have seen that happen. Best practice is always have the lawn mowed prior to the application. Remove any heavy clippings, leaves, or debris, including droppings. I was at a site recently where it was just polluted with droppings. The customer was going to go out there with a backpack blower and spray it off or blow it off prior to the application. You want as much material contacting the turf as possible. Never apply on a wet turf or heavy dew, just won't work. Resist the temptation to make an early morning application. If you walk through the grass and you get any moisture or dew on your boots, stay away from the application, wait till it dries. Always follow the label as far as wind speed. Don't apply 3 hours prior to rainfall or a storm irrigation cycle. And don't walk through or drag a hose through there, and we'll go over that here in a few minutes. Typically takes less than a ½ hour to dry on a normal day. Sprayers to use: finely tipped drop nozzles such as a backpack for smaller areas, weed wand, turf tractor, your permagreen machines, liquid TTA unit. Stay away from a Chemlon gun or a JD9 gun, even with the 1.5 gallon nozzle. The problem with a Chemlon gun is it puts down too big of a droplet size. The problem with the JD9, it does, however, deliver a fine mist, but when you make the application, you have a tendency to drag the hose over the application. It's going to knock the material off the grass blades. Keep people, places, and things off of the treatment until it's dry. As I mentioned earlier, about a ½ hour. What's going to happen is after the application's been treated, the geese will feed on the area. It takes about 45 minutes for them to digest the treated turf. They'll start shaking their head, honking, and they're going to go for water. You will know when the application is they get the gut reaction. Again, it won't hurt them, it won't make them go to the bathroom anymore, but at that point they've learned not to feed in the area. They revert back to the site, the visual that it's absorbing the UV light, and they can see it, and that's how it repels them. Could take 2 to 3, even up to 4 to 5 days for all of the geese in the area to sample the material and feed on it. I've been in instances where there's several flocks of geese. They may not feed on it every day, but you just have to be diligent and watch it and give it a little bit of time. But by the 5th day, you should see a substantial number of geese leaving the area. Some of the sales tools that we have available for John Deere Landscapes is a trifold brochure, and that'll be supplied to your store with the John Deere logo and your store information on that. We're also going to have a video for people who have a video player. It's going to explain the product, how to apply it. We also have a link, Flight Control Plus, on our website, and also there's a brain chart video that explains the application. It says a cool feature where you can use a scanner and your customer can take a look at that, the professional applicator. Okay, so that concludes our webinar today on Flight Control Plus for John Deere Landscapes. For more information, go to flightcontrol.com. If you would like to request the brochures or the video, please contact Ernie Porta. His email, the 1-877-554-3373 number is listed below. Thank you very much. Have a great day and enjoy the season.